What's up, Riley? How you doing? You are the first here, Riley. Hope you are well. What's up, Tune? Listen, I know many of you are newer, meaning you probably are recent, but recent followers, okay? But you know, a while ago, last year, almost a year ago at this point, I was building the Mark V plastic, or not Mark V, Mark 4.5 plastic into fuel reactor. And I live streamed like the whole thing. Like I was live streaming, building the whole machine, like every time I was welding. And I haven't really live streamed any type of welding since then. But I'm not quite rebuilding the machine right now, but I am doing a lot of upgrades on it. And I'm having to redesign these blades or re-weld these blades on the machine. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. What's up, people on Instagram? Ooh, talk about being ashy. This is what happens when you're out here. I need some baby oil, guys, for my hands. I need some lubrication on my fingers. It's cold out here, but I guess I'm about to warm up. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to entertain you. You'll have to entertain yourselves. But, as you see, I have gotten rebar. Matter of fact, I'll show you directly. I got rebar, right? And I bent it around the tree to make a whole bunch of little spirals, yeah? And then we weld these spirals together. You see, you place them in a line, weld them together, and now you have shaftless auger blades, right? Look, that might not sound appealing to you. Well, matter of fact, I think a shaft, anything shaftless sounds fine to anybody but Diddy himself, right? I'm sure Diddy wants a shaft on his auger blades, but we're fine. We ain't swinging that way around here. We're fine with shaftless auger blades, right? Does anybody, hey, raise your hand, okay? Speak now, forever hold your peace if you are against shaftlessness. All right? Speak now, forever hold your peace, because unfortunately, we're not gonna have a shaft going through this, okay? Oh, and let me explain why. So just to clear it up, because a lot of people all the time suggest to me, they're like, just put a shaft in there, put a shaft. And I always tell people there's a reason why this is shaftless, okay? And I'll tell you why. Okay, microwaves reflect off of metal. If there was a big, long, and hard metal shaft going through this whole set of blades, that would basically cock block the microwaves from interacting with a lot of plastic. But since there's no shaft, well, there's no extra surface area or no extra shaft for the microwaves to stroke, right? The microwaves can pretty much get right to the plastic and get in between these big gaps, no problem. So that's why we do a shaftless auger design. Another advantage is shaftless augers are better at moving sticky things like plastic, molten plastic. And I also don't need to have a bearing on the other side or a bearing in the middle to support the shaft of the auger if there was a shaft. You don't have to worry about that with the shaftless auger design because the shaftless auger is kind of supported by the entire body of the entire machine. So there's a lot of advantages, material science-wise, you know, the science of microwaves, the radio engineering, all that type of stuff. That's why we do shaftless auger. So no, it's not an option to put a shaft in here, okay? It's not an option. I know some of you really want to see a long shaft, but I'm not putting a shaft in here, okay? So, I've been doing it shaftless since Mark III, okay? Mark III. We're on Mark 4.5, and the shaftless design works. It's just that, you know what I mean? Sometimes it has its issues and it warps and stuff, but hey, you know, what do I say, guys? If she twerks, she works, okay? And she's been working. It's just that we gotta stiffen her up a little bit, all right? I'm gonna put some extra supports in this time so it doesn't get clapped, all right? But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, you'll have to entertain yourself. I'll be live for probably maybe like 30 minutes, and you'll get the gist, the get-go, whatever. But I just figured I'd go live welding because it's been so long, you know what I'm saying? But once I start welding, I'm not talking to y'all anymore. So, if you have some codependency, unfortunately, you ain't gonna last too long over here. Dang it, of course my camera battery's gone dead. I gotta get another camera battery. I'll be right back. Hey, and while I'm going to get a camera battery, somebody get me some lotion, okay? Please, help me. See, I'm running out of daylight hours. There's only probably about an hour and a half left of light. Now, I do have some lights out here, but, you know, it's so much easier, especially when you're welding. It's already dark enough under this helmet, right? Already looks like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror when I put this helmet on, right? So it's already dark enough as is. We don't need it much darker. You know what I mean? So, let's go. Here we go. Excellent. And we will begin. you can see what we're doing here, right? You understand? It's like we're making a gigantic screw, essentially, right? This has to be lined up properly. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go dry fit this in the machine and make sure everything is fitting properly. Yes, everything fits. You see, sometimes I wish I had a cameraman because I could bring you with me to show you, but I'd have to carry 4 cameras and this all at once. And my balls. I have to carry all of those things all at once. It would be a lot of weight to bear for one man alone. So, unfortunately, it would just have to be me. Oh, you know something I forgot? I can zoom the cameras in. I can actually get you guys close to me. I don't know how close you would want to be with me, but I guess that's up for you to decide. How close is too close? But nonetheless, you can get some IMAX cinema. Hold up. Let me switch this. Some IMAX cinema. There we go. See, I thought of you guys. I had you guys in mind. How kind. Here we go. Let's see. You can get some good fat shots of the welding, yeah? Some nice fat shots of it, innit? Let's see. Oh, does YouTube? Oh, there we go. Even YouTube lets you zoom in. That's right. Now, everybody, I'm just tacking this right now, so obviously, don't look for any type of stellar welding. I actually will be doing the actual welding on my big generator. You see, I just have this little tiny inverter here just to let me tack it. I can't really turn the heat up like I need to, but I'll be doing the real welds on my big generator probably tomorrow. But we're just trying to get these blades tacked up today. So, yeah, that's the main thing we're trying to do. Yes, yes, indeed. Such a considerate young man. Such a considerate young man. Diddy Kong? What? You said you're judging the welding heavy? Well, you'll be judging all night. Yes, I'm running 035 flux core. say the biggest disadvantage to me bending these by hand is that, of course, they're imperfect. So in the case of this one particularly, some of it is floating off the ground. And what that means is when it's inside the machine, it'll be floating off the machine, and some parts won't be pushing the plastic forward. So I have to kind of just sit here and fiddle and diddle with it, pause, all drizzy, try and get this right. Sometimes, you know, I gotta expand this a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Gotta, you know, kind of hook it, you know, just pull it out. The diameter is even on all sides. You do it by hand, you can't have it perfect. But we're trying to stop it. You know, you see how that one there is kind of floating off the ground just a little bit. That's okay, because this one's gonna kind of go under there and fill that gap. But we can't have a huge amount of float. If there's too much float, then you know what I mean. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work properly. And there's gonna be some plastic that never gets pushed forward. Yeah, exactly. I'll weld it, then I'll worry about cutting off the ends. The ends are no problem. It's more about trying to just make sure it's not floating. You know what I mean? As long as it's not floating, we can cut off any extra metal. I don't care about the looks right now, right? So, what's happening now is, well, most of these blades, the flights, are okay. But the one I'm trying to weld on right now is, well, it's having quite the freak on. I am the woman of the end of the world. I am an afterlife woman. Alright. Good to know. You said think about how many skills he's learned since doing this project. Yes, so many, because I'm self-taught in everything except for welding. So like all the electrical things I've taught myself, mechanical engineering, the chemistry stuff, distillation, all that. So, you know, what, I've always been such an avid learner, so I love it, you know. I love, you know, I'm trying to get into like PLC and coding and stuff next. That's a whole other field, because obviously I'd love to have my thing computer automated, but you know, that's a whole extra system. So one day Naturejab will have everything he needs because he tries and be richer than all of us. So that's pretty powerful. Well, it's certainly not about becoming rich, but I know the day will come when I have the resources I need where I don't have to be welding together freaking rebar blades. Because yeah, determination gets you places, right? You said I would just weld them all together, then bend and stretch them out how you need them. Yeah, that's a good idea. You said you couldn't use a acetylene torch to shape it. I have a torch, it's not acetylene though. Yeah, of course, Murphy's Law. I have a torch that will get hot enough, but you know, acetylene is much quicker. The issue I'm running into is this, right? It's not necessarily that I can't just bend them once they're welded together. Some of them are just misshapen, not the proper diameter. So that would come to mess me up later if I don't solve the problem now. You said heat a prop. I wish it was as simple as heating it on the proper diameter pipe. The issue is I don't have a way of mounting a pipe stable enough to just wrap it around like that. And how do you handle metal heated up like it's red hot? You know, you can't handle that with your hands. So I had to bend this around a tree, right? Because a tree is rooted in the ground, obviously. But trees are not the proper diameter. You know, trees have so many different, you know, it's not the same diameter the whole way up and down the tree. So that's why some of these are lining up fine, but some of them are not, right? So it's, yeah, exactly. Metal 3D printed interlocking would be perfect, but unfortunately it ain't in the budget right now. So I gotta make it. Watch this. Watch as I roll this. You'll see how off it is in some places, right? Let me roll it. You see, it's pretty good, except for the end. Oh, hold up, you didn't see that. Sorry. Let me try that again. You see, it's pretty good, except for like at the very end, it's rolling kind of weird. Now I'll roll it towards you. It has to roll pretty good. It has to roll better than this, because how it's going to roll is how it's going to go in the machine, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, if there's too big of a gap, well, the plastic will not be properly moved down the machine, which will cause other problems. So this is not how we like this. This is like, I mean, it's not horrible, to be honest. It's not horrible. It's about, it rolls about as well as a Slinky. Okay, so you can see the issue perfectly, but also the solution right now. So, if you look at that little curve at the end, right? It's actually, that curve at the end is the only point that isn't rolling properly, right? So actually, the solution is gonna be, because when I bent these, obviously, are now gonna be perfect, right? I'm not Luigi Mangione. I'm not gonna be a perfect one-time, one hit, one kill, right? But what I can do is actually compensate by welding on the next blade a little bit off, right? A little bit, like I don't know how to say. You'll see it. Basically, that's it. That's it. You'll see. Alright, so my theory was correct. It fixed the issue. Obviously, I can always chop off the extra metal. That's no big deal, right? No biggie, no smalls on the extra metal. Making that little U on the inside. But the main thing is, now it has complete contact with the ground at all points. At all points. That's what we've been trying to get. Because we can't have it floating around, you know, floating about. Like a little carousel cunt. You know what I mean? It's got to be complete contact at many points as possible. You said what brand boots? I got Red Wings. Oh, I have a light actually. Where's my freaking headlamp? light. So now you can see what I was saying. What I was saying, I had to weld it a little bit weirdly to get it to work. But that's alright. Because all we gotta do, you know, is just continue to make it work. You said, is there a way I could weld that piece closer? No, because the piece that you're saying is the wrong diameter, so I have to have it like this to make it work. But I can always cut the excess metal off with no problem, and then you know, it'll be welded together just as fine, so it won't matter. All right, you see it's coming together. So let's see how it spins now, right? I don't know why Instagram, there we go, finally, zooms out. Oh, look at that. Now that's rolling pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good, pretty smooth. Yep, that's what you want. So you can see the same way it's rolling on the ground now is how it's going to be spinning inside the machine. So you see it has to, we want it to spin smooth, so it has to roll smooth, especially on a flat ground like that. That's why, like last time I built this, I built it on grass. You said that's going to bend again? I'm going to have supports in here. I'm going to be putting straight pieces of rebar that connect all of them together. So it's like a shaft, but not a shaft. It's like a best of both worlds. And I don't know if I've ever properly explained to people what happens when they bend. The blades never bend when the machine is in operation. Like when the machine is running. They bend when the machine is not running. They bend when the machine's not running and there's some bits of plastic left in the machine in some random spots that didn't get through, and they end up becoming a solidified chunk of plastic. Then I try to spin the blades. When I go to load plastic in, I try to spin them, and then it like solidifies the blades to the machine, and then the torque contorts them, and then they end up like just scissoring each other. So that makes no sense. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. So let's just say this is an example, right? I have some straight pieces of rebar, but they're not over here. But let's just pretend, let's just use this as an example. You see this end of the rebar that's a little bit straight. We'll use this to show you what I'm gonna do, right? So I'm gonna take this straight bit, right? And I'm gonna end up welding it between every single one of these like this. On the inside, there to there, on every single one. So they're gonna have a central support that'll stop them from contorting. So use stainless steel. Yeah, if stainless steel wasn't about as much money as Obamacare with Mint Mobile. Hey, what's up, Welders World on Instagram? Good to see you. Hey, I'm welding. I'm welding right now, ironically, right? You said maybe a professional. Well, you know, it's not the welding that's the issue with this. It's the fit up. It's the getting, you know, bending the rebar properly by hand when you're doing it around trees. And I tried to look up like a local rebar coiler near me or something, but I just, you know, the issue with most of these things is the scale at which they do it is way bigger than what I need, right? And so it's like their prices are just crazy for such a little thing for me. Yeah, it's a big slinky in it. A big rebar slinky. But I mean, look, considering this has been done 100% by hand, it's looking pretty good. It just, you know, we have to compensate for the issues. You can see at the very end here, there's one bit that's still floating up, but that's going to be the very end blade of the whole machine. That won't even matter that that's floating up like that. That's how I planned it. He said, do you support the legalization of cannabis for medicinal purposes? There's far worse drugs that are legal than cannabis. I don't do any substances myself, but I think it's stupid that cannabis is illegal for medicinal purposes, but Xanax is legal. But Prozac is legal. You know what I'm saying? Promethazine is legal. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. It's like cherry picking, you know. And I'm not biased because I don't smoke, right? But I'm just keeping it real. It makes no sense why things that have far worse side effects are legal. Whatever. It doesn't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense, right? But anyways, let me measure these blades and see, because we gotta get 9 foot of blades. So let's see how many feet we're at now. Oh, okay. So we are already at 6.5 foot. 6.5 foot, guys. So we're already almost there. Yes, microwave pyrolysis of plastic, operating off of solar too. Once we get solar going, so this should be taller than me now. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Little slinky. We're making waves. We're making waves. We're getting it done slowly. We don't have many blades left in stock here in the inventory. Matter of fact, I didn't even see how many inches. I also focused on the feet. I said 6.5 feet, so that's like 70 something inches. Over 70, obviously. Yeah, oh, look, all the compensation I've been doing has been eating away at my my inches here. All this compensation I've been doing, and that's kind of bad because I'm running out of rebar. All right, so let's get these other bits welded on. You said it looks like stranded DNA. Hey, these are sacred geometrical shapes of the entire universe. The spiral is one of them. Okay, you'll find the spiral everywhere. Yeah, a spiral rebending machine would be perfect, but unfortunately, it just is not. It's hard to justify that expense since I'll only be using it one time. You know, that's the issue with my particular situation. Hey, Yuki, good to see you. Hey, it's rolling pretty good. My bad. Look, I had you guys out of the camera shot. My bad. Haha. Oops. Hey, you know what I haven't been doing? I haven't been putting this in the machine and making sure that it actually is fitting in the mouth of the machine. That'd be a damn shame, right? He said, do you know in totality we're here with you today, but I wanted to say that I'm very glad you're here with us, especially today. Thank you so much, Yuki. Hey, Yuki's an OG. Yuki's been around since, oh my goodness, since before I got my explosion, since before Mark 4.5 was even built. Yuki's an absolute OG, so I'm glad to see you in here. All right, the gratitude is mutual, okay? I will always be grateful for even one person So the last 2 bits of rebar I have are so off, I can't even weld them on. They don't even, I mean, I can weld them on, but it's just not cooperating. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call it here, because it's too dark to really do shot else, right? But, you know, I would say the progress has been pretty good. I mean, I know, unfortunately, I can't quite get where I wanted to go tonight, but I mean, what we have is pretty good. So just look at this and see how smoothly this rolls, right? The whole thing. It's pretty good. It's just the last little bits. I mean, what? We're like 7 foot now? Let me see how long we are. I think we're 7 foot. So we just have like 2 more coils to do, and then we're done. Oh, we're 8 foot. So really all we needed, look, if those last 2 coils, would have fit on there properly, we would have been done. But unfortunately, hold on 1 second. I mean, my phone's about to die, so the live stream is about to end no matter what. But I think I have some extra rebar little spirals somewhere that might be able to work, because we're so close. I'm gonna, you know, of course, after I end this live stream, I'm gonna go and put this in the machine and then make sure it like fits in there and everything's good. But like I said, the last time I made these rebar blades, I made them on the grass, right? And then obviously the grass is uneven, but making them on the concrete gives me a good basis to see, okay, if there's some points that aren't in contact with the concrete, that means they're not going to be in contact with the belly of the machine, meaning I won't be able to push plastic forward at that level. So basically, if it's rolling smoothly, continuously, that means that for the most part, most of them are in contact with the ground at all points, or most points. Enough points. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. So, you know, it's a patient game. Re-weld, cut, re-weld, cut, re-weld, cut, till you get it right. But that's why, now that I got these right, and I'm about to finish them, probably early tomorrow, I'm gonna put a whole bunch of supports across them. Cut off all the excess metal, little junk, whatever, and put supports across the whole thing, so I never have to build these goddamn blades again. Look, the first time I built them out of rebar, I was like, I'll never have to build them again, by the very fact that I had to bend it around a freaking tree. And then it still got contorted. That's crazy how tough solidified plastic is, right? When it like melts and solidifies into like a lake. But I'm gonna put a whole bunch of supports across all of this. And then I'm gonna also implement a new protocol to stop even the solidified plastic problem from happening, to begin with. But we're gonna do all this in combination with each other. But thank you guys so much for coming by. Honestly, I'm surprised we had so many people in here, because welding is pretty boring, especially when I'm like welding like this, because you're like, I'm not even welding half the time. You know what I mean? So thank you guys. You did an awesome job. Thank you. You know, I like to, you know, here's the thing, because people, I get emails and stuff all the time, people asking how to build the machine, or like, whatever. And we're all here to build our own things in life. Whatever you're building, you have ups and downs. You have so many things that nobody will ever see. Hard days, hard moments, nobody will ever see. And that's okay, it's a part of it. And like, last time I built the blades, I didn't even broadcast. I mean, I recorded it. Live streaming gives a completely different perspective. And so I like to show everybody all the perspectives of when you're building something. Especially when you're building something that, like, I can't just go order these blades on freaking Amazon, Alibaba, Temu. I gotta either build them myself or get them manufactured. And unfortunately, I'm at the point right now where I have the finances to be able to manufacture everything I want. I still have to build things I want, and that's okay, Because, you know, that's the definition of grassroots, you know, building yourself up. And we're all capable of that. And I love to be able to show that message and show people. Because, you know, the truth is, let's be real, guys. Most of the stuff we do are excuses. Most of the things we make are excuses. Because we excuse inconvenience or to be uncomfortable, right? It's easy to be like, I can't do that. When really you could, but it just makes you uncomfortable. And, you know, I really didn't want to do this. It's cold out here. You know what I'm saying? I had to drive, 4 hours, 4 hours to get here. And I've been out here since, I've been working since 6 in the morning, because if you include the driving, right? And so it's uncomfortable, and then I had to bend this around the tree. Of course, I'm going to be sore from that. But, you know, things got to be done, and that's all right. And so, at the end of the day, I didn't mean to close the thing. At the end of the day, you just got to make do with your situation, make it work. And that's what I want to show people above all else. Because look, I have a grant, and even with the grant, I burned through that money so quick. I still got to do stuff like this. And so I want people that may not have as many resources to begin with to know you could pretty much do whatever the heck you want if you put your mind to it and dedicate it to it. You know, I'm making this out of freaking rebar. You know, this is the most budget it gets. Goddamn rebar, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Diddy oil ain't cheap. No, it sure isn't. Sure isn't. That's why only he had those big vats of it. I never seen baby oil containers so big. You know what I mean? Double auger, no double auger system, no double auger. But guys, here is to this being the last time I built these. Okay, next time we get anything with augers, it's gonna be metal 3D printed. Pray to God. All right, pray to God. I don't want to build this ever again. I hate building this. And I hate installing it and uninstalling it. I just hate shafts, okay? I hate motors and gearboxes because they get stuck together and you got to grease them up, and then grease gets everywhere, and then you have to hit it like a million times with a mallet to get it on, to get it off. I hate it all, but it's necessary, so I do it, okay? I hate it all. So let's hope I never have to do this again, but I probably will. Let's be real, okay? It's okay, though. All right, so thank you all for stopping by so much. Honestly, I'm surprised so many people have been here. Much love to you guys, and thank you for your support. And maybe I'll go live tomorrow. I don't know, but you'll definitely see a video from me tomorrow. All right, guys. So take care. Have a great night, and stay blessed.